Hello, here we are again. My name is Scott Anderson. Today I'm going to lead you through a restorative, relaxing, more of a yin style class. And I hope that you enjoy that. I hope that that sort of taps into what your needs are, because what you were psychically putting out, I was psychically picking up. And the answer is yes. So, if it's your first time doing yoga with me, please leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. We sure appreciate those. And for those of you that have practiced with me for a while and know that I tend to be kind of weird, and I have an even weirder sense of humor. But I got to show you this because it was annoying me. This is my super fast dharma for the day. Good morning, Mother. My mom is watching this right now. You ever been out with a friend and hello, Denny, and there's a booger right here, and then as they breathe in, it kind of goes up, and then as they breathe out, it kind of comes down. There's just and that's all you can do. You're just like staring at it, transfixed. So there's two types of people in this world I've come to discover, right? There's the people that'll say, hey, you got a little bat in the cave right there. And then the people that are going to ignore it. Now, here's the person that tells you, dude, there's a booger hanging out of your nose. That's somebody that you can trust, okay? That's somebody that you can trust. That's a friend, because they don't want you to walk around with a booger hanging out of your nose, even though it's embarrassing to say, hey, man, there's a booger right there, right? So here's my point. How dare you, Karen? So here's my point. Look at this. I got to put this up. This is a screenshot of what it looks like that I never see. And Baby Yoda is coming out of my ass. So how come nobody ever mentioned that? No one ever said anything. So, just wonder where my friends are. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I hope you guys are great. Today is going to be a restorative routine. And so I hope that you have gone to the trouble this morning of doing nothing. I'm literally still in my pajamas, and I even have my slippers on. So this is, if you're feeling lazy today, if you're feeling sore, if you're feeling beat up, if you've got like quarantine fatigue, this might be just the thing for you. So enjoy. Happy Sunday, or happy whenever you're watching this. All right, so you're probably not even going to need a yoga mat, because we're basically going to just be doing a lot of stuff on the floor. There's going to be no standing, and there's going to be a lot of lying down and breathing and softly sobbing and questioning the deity of your choice. If you do have a bolster, right, because that's something everybody has in their house, right, is a couple of yoga bolsters and several blocks, right? You may not have that. Just grab the pillows off the couch. That would work great. Grab the pillows off your bed. Especially ladies that are watching, you know you have 18 pillows on your bed. So go grab 3 of them, all right? And I'd like us to begin lying down. Like I said, if you don't have a mat, just lie down. It's going to be easy. It's going to be great. Who was that? Ethel Merman? You'll be swell. You'll be great. You can have the whole world on a plate. Lie down on your backs, plant your feet. Look up at the ceiling. Take a deep breath. Go, why, God, why? Why does life have to be so awesome?
Slide your legs out straight one at a time. Reach your hands above your shoulders. Push through your heels, open up your hands. And then melt. Just let your toes fall out, yet let your arms slide to where they're most comfortable. So as we begin today, we're simply just going to ask our body for permission to let go. So what I want you to notice as you're lying on the floor here right now is there any part of your body, like for me it's my left shoulder, it's just a little bit achy today. So that's the one thing that's keeping me from really relaxing. So I'm lowering my left elbow towards my hip just a little bit more than the right. Just until that joint stops barking at me. And what is barking at you? Just notice where it is. And notice if you can use your breath or any slight accommodation to calm it down. Take your left hand and rest it on your belly, but also make sure that resting your hand on your belly doesn't mean that your left elbow is lifted off the floor. Rest your left elbow at your side. That means that the left hand doesn't have to rest on the very center of your body. And it's the same thing with your right hand. Place it over your heart, but make sure, it would be more correct to have your left hand, but right hand over your chest and left hand over your belly. As you tune into your body on a little bit deeper level, just feel the rise and fall of your chest and your belly in your hands. And maybe you can start to observe your pulse. Maybe you feel the blood coursing through the veins in your neck. Maybe you can feel that thump on your chest under your right fingers. Relax your jaw. Think of something you're grateful for. Our minds usually go to a very significant person in our life. But it's okay for the thing you're grateful for to be just a delicious cup of coffee you had earlier. It could be anything, big or little. And once you know what that thing is, think of something else. Just say thanks. Think of a reason to have said it. Say thank you again. Think of a reason to have said it. Today is about moving slowly, if at all, and being mindful in the movement and being mindful in the stillness. Step or slide your right foot back. Step or slide your left foot back. Toe heel your feet out to the edges of your mat and let your knees fall against one another. Hopefully it's quiet wherever you are. Now separate your knees and bring your feet in. Lift your right knee to your chest. Weave your hands at the back of your right thigh and lift your right foot into the air. Left foot is still planted flat with the left knee bent. Right leg is straight. Push gently through your right heel towards the ceiling, just to feel that length in your calf. Bend your right knee and move your hands to your shin. And just encourage the knee gently down closer to the nipple. Don't pull as hard as you can, not even close. Just encourage. Move your hands back to the hamstring. Press your heel up to the ceiling. Bend your right knee. Move your hands to the shin. And pull the thigh gently to the belly. Lift your heel. Move your hands to your hamstring. Push the heel to the sky. Bend your right knee. Move the hands to the shin. And pull the knee down towards the nipple. Hold it here. Slide your left foot out so your left leg is straight. Reach your left hand to the left, and with your right hand, draw your right knee to the right. And now we're going to slowly start to make a circle with the right knee. So bring your knee to 6 o'clock, 12, and then 3, and then 9. So your right knee is drawing a clockwise circle to the right. And next time you get to 12, go counterclockwise. Go to 9, and then 6 and 3, and back to 12. Now next time your knee's coming towards 9 o'clock, keep going to the left. And then offer your right knee to your left hand. Reach your right hand to the right. And draw your right knee across your hips to the left. Go ahead and plant that right foot on the outside of your left thigh. Don't pull as hard as you can. Remember, we're always asking for permission here. Slow, steady breath. Savor your breath. The way you'd savor chocolate or ice cream on your tongue. Turn to your head to the right if you want a little bit more. Release your right knee from your left hand and plant your right knee on the floor. Palms down next to your mat. Left knee to chest. Don't grab it. Keep your hands on the floor. Left knee to chest, right foot on the floor. Push gently into your right heel to just lift your butt off the floor for just a moment. This is about as much effort as we're going to engage in this practice today. Then just lower your sacrum back to the floor, and now weave your fingers at your left shin. Pull your left knee towards your nipple. Let go of your shin, push your left heel to the ceiling, move your hands to your left hamstring, and gently drive through the left heel. That means the top of your left foot is drawing back towards your hip or your knee. Bend your knee, move your hands back to the left shin, and pull gently down, asking for permission. Move your hands to your hamstring as you straighten your leg and push your heel to the ceiling. Bend your left knee and draw it down. One more time, move the hands back to the back of the thigh, push the heel up. Bend the knee and draw it down, thigh to belly. Slide your right foot out straight until your leg is straight, And now reach your right hand right and guide left knee left. Now we're slowly going to start to make circles with the left knee to the left that are counterclockwise. So your knee is going 12, 9, 6, 3. And it's going at whatever pace feels good to you. But whatever pace you're going, see if you can slow down another 10%. This is when we stop rushing. And perhaps we've been in a state of that for weeks now, right? But even if we're not rushing to work every day, it doesn't mean we're not under stress. Let's take those knee circles clockwise. And it's not how many you do, and it's not how deep they are. It's about, can you go slow enough to experience the sensation? Bring your left knee to the midline, offer it to your right hand, reach your left hand left, and draw left knee right. Take your time. This should feel like you're trying to do yoga on a king-size bed and not wake somebody sleeping next to you. And having said all that, make sure you don't fall asleep. That would be funny though, wouldn't it? Like if I fell asleep right now and just started snoring and like 20 minutes went by and you knew like I wasn't faking. That would be the greatest thing ever. Now let's relax and release that knee. Step your left foot back across and slide your right foot back. We're going to take, which one is it? Right foot to the air. Man, I had to think a long time about that. Place your hands on the floor next to your hips. Excuse me, that's right knee to chest. Left foot on the floor. And then just push your butt off of the floor with your left foot. And then lower your sacrum back to the floor. Left knee towards the chest too. Now grab the top of your shins, just under your kneecaps. And now we're going to make circles like against a mirror, so to speak. So that means both knees come out towards your armpits, and then they come in and forward towards your chin and collarbones, so your knees are together. And then your feet get closer to the floor. Your knees move away from your chin, and then we slowly start to separate them. So that means right knee is moving counterclockwise, and left knee is moving clockwise. Bring your knees back together near your collarbones and then away from them. Separate your knees and just keep making these circles, these perfect circles. Toes towards the floor, the knees separate, the knees come in towards the collarbones and together, and then again, the knees move away from the chin. Now the next time your knees come towards your chin and collarbones, stop when your knees are together. Pull them apart. And then draw your toes towards the floor. So now we've switched. Knees come together and then towards the chin. Now right knee is moving clockwise and left knee is moving counterclockwise. And we're paying attention to our body. The way we pay attention to a dear friend who we haven't spoken to in a while. Now, bring both knees towards your collarbones and wrap your arms around your legs. Lift your forehead up to your knees. Rock side to side. Lower your head. Release your legs and plant your feet. Arms at your sides, palms on the floor. Press into both heels and lift your butt off the floor a few inches. Don't thrust your butt or your groin into the air as high as you can. Get your butt off the floor 2 inches. And then sweep your hips to the right and sweep your hips to the left like a pendulum. Back to the right and then over to the left. Once more to the right. And once more, swing the hips over to the left. Now bring your pelvis back to the floor. Slide your legs straight. We're not getting up yet. Slide your legs out straight. And I want you to cross your right ankle over your left ankle. Legs are still straight. Reach your hands above your shoulders, and if you can, grab the opposite elbow. And if not, rest your hands above your head. Now simply slide your legs to the left, so your heels are close to the left bottom corner of your mat. Get out of here, Tiny Diamond. Okay, have a good bath. I love you 3000. Slide your head and shoulders to the left. Your body's basically in the shape of a banana. Banana una na. Half of my heart is in banana una na. That's all I got. I'm just lying on the floor singing Camilla Cabello. Now the objective in yin is to move your body into shapes without your muscles engaging any more than they have to for you to hold that shape. So remember, wherever we are, typically, we're trying to let go, to completely go limp. Now slide your heart back to center, and then uncross right ankle over left. Cross left ankle over right. Slide the heels to the right corner of your mat, and then begin to draw your heart and head closer to the right. Now we're in that banana shape. Lengthening on the left side and doing so as passively as possible. So as I mentioned earlier, I hope it's quiet in your house. Definitely want to encourage you to shut everything off that you can. You can't shut off a 7-year-old kid, but I asked my tiny diamond to just keep all screens and all speakers off. And hopefully you can do that too. So maybe you're watching for the first time and you're like, okay, yeah, I can get behind yoga. You just sort of go to the side and lie there. I dig this. Yoga is actually really cool. Well, this is one form. You know, yoga is a martial art. It's the martial art of one. And your opponent is yourself. But there's lots of styles of martial arts. Now bring your heart back to center. Uncross left leg over right. And now we want both heels near the corners of your mat, your feet apart. And we want both hands reaching from the corners, the top corners of your mat under your shoulders. So basically a camera from above would take a picture of you in the shape of an X. There's karate, kung fu, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai. And in yoga, there's Ashtanga and Yin and Anusara and Vinyasa. And then there's crackpots like me that sort of create their own system. All right. Let's bring the hands to the sides, step the feet back, lower both knees to your right. You can scoot your hips left. We are going to end again on our back, so we're going to come back and revisit some great poses on our back, but we're going to roll to our right. And again, think about yourself getting up off of a bed and you don't want to wake up somebody. So come up really slow into a seated position. Oh man, I know, we're actually going to get up just a little bit into a Sukhasana position. That's your legs folded in front of you without your feet under you, okay? Place your hands in front of you. If this is already challenging for your hips, if your knees want to rise high off the floor, if your back wants to round, you can always place that bolster, that pillow, that block underneath your butt. Propping up the hips is one of the best ways that we can ease some of the tension there. So I'm going to come up under a bolster, or place a bolster under me, just so that you feel good about doing that yourself. Now we're going to walk the hands forward, Maybe the elbows go down, maybe the head goes down, the hands stack. But what's important is that if you recognize that if there's some tightness, impingement, discomfort in your hips, your knee, your ankles, your shoulders, anywhere, we just back away until we feel like, oh, I can breathe and I can breathe through this sensation. But anytime you're trying to relax, but your breath is labored and it sounds like you're, struggling in the bathroom or whatever, then you need to back away. Now, if you like, walk your hands over to your right and place your left hand on your right hand. Monitor your breath carefully. And what I hope you'll find is that sometimes, go ahead and walk your hands back and come upright. Sometimes you'll notice that it's not a question of backing away. It's a question of allowing your breath to help you melt. Sometimes it's just the tension that we're creating. It's not really tension in the hip, or it is tension in the hip that we can let go of. Walk your hands out over to your left. Legs are switched. Right hand on the left. Every yoga class is a breathing class. Go ahead and walk your hands back. And perhaps that's why many skeptical people can poo-poo yoga. The breath. I breathe all the time. I can't not breathe, right? Breathing and being aware of breathing are two different things. Let's transition to a tabletop. Knees under hips, hands under shoulders. Tuck away your microphone in your pajamas. Widen the knees. Now I want you to keep your butt over your knees. I'm going to switch to the side cam so that you can see that I'm not going to sit back to my feet and I'm not going to lie on my belly. But what I'm going to do is suspend the hips above the knees and walk the hands forward, come onto the elbows, and then allow the hands to slide out and for the forehead to rest. Now it looks like a young child taking a nap, right, in a crib. I don't know why kids do. My daughter, she's 7. She'll be 8 in a couple of months. She still does this. Like, not to be funny either. Like, she'll really do this. Maybe it's because kids inherently recognize this feels great. Feels great on the shoulders, the chest. And when I say great, I mean you're creating sensation in your body that might feel like a relief to you, even though it may not be easy, even though it may not be amazingly comfortable, right? Now we're going to bring the heart over the elbows, step or slide the knees back, and now we are lying on our belly. And we're going to stack the hands and slide the right knee to the right, bent at 90 degrees at the knee and the hip. That means that your right leg from the knee to the foot is off of your mat and parallel to it if you're using a mat. Rest your left cheek on your stacked hands. Maybe this is how you take a nap sometimes. If you naturally sleep on your belly, for starters, you're a weirdo. And 2, being a weirdo is awesome. And 3, if you do typically sleep on your belly and you have not tight hips, don't fall asleep on me here. Now we're going to lift the cheek off of the hands and slide left hand left. So your arms on the floor almost look like you're doing a dab. And now you're going to place your right cheek on your right hand. Remember, the objective in all of these positions is to soften and let go. Now this last position on the left side is going to be a little tricky. So slide right leg straight next to the left, and you're going to bend your left elbow 90 degrees. Right hand planted underneath the right shoulder. Rest your head and roll to your left. And already you're going to feel that in your left shoulder, right? So you might have to straighten your left arm. You might have to reduce the amount you're rolling your hips open. So you could always slide right knee towards your right hand to give yourself just a little bit more leverage to prevent yourself from rolling onto your belly. And to dial that up more intensely would be to slide left knee towards right hand. So there's lots of options here if trying to passively work into that left shoulder is causing you a lot of discomfort. Remember, you should be able to melt and you should be able to breathe. So you back away until you can. Slide left foot straight if left knee is bent. Roll back onto your belly. And let's do the other side. Restack the hands and slide left knee left. Place your right cheek on your hands so you're looking in the same direction as your bent knee. often fear we've forgotten how to be quiet. Lift your head, reach your right hand right, and place your left cheek on the back of your left hand. Last belly position. Bend your right elbow 90 degrees so your right arm is in a cactus position. And your left hand comes under your left shoulder to the floor. Left leg straightens, rest your head, and roll to your right. One way to keep yourself in that roll is to slide your left foot back, and another way is to slide your right knee forward towards your left hand. So that we can rest, we can let go without just rolling on the belly and taking ourselves out of the position. Legs straight. Roll back to the belly. And slide your right hand underneath your right shoulder. Leave your knees on the floor. And push up into a tabletop. Step the knees forward. And now we're going to slide the hips back and come into a child's pose. The knees can be separate and lie down between them, or you can lie down on them, whichever one works best for you. Rest your head. Watching the breath is a little bit like people watching. Lift your head and your heart. We're going to lift the butt and slide right knee to the outside of the right hand and slide the left knee back. And let's come into a pigeon. Now, if you have that bolster or that pillow, you can always place it right here in the front of your mat. Stack your elbows or place your elbows near the corners of your mat and rest your head. If you're really tight in the hips, you might need a pillow underneath your right butt cheek to keep you from rolling your hips to the right to place the right glute on the floor. Other side. Plant your hands and slide your right foot and knee back into position. Slide left knee to the outside of left hand. Bring your foot towards your right hand and slide right knee back a little bit. And then bring yourself back into that resting state. Head on a pillow or a pillow underneath your left glute might help you here. Maybe you don't need it. There's very little we need in yoga. We start with willingness. This is my second yoga studio that I've had right off of a very busy street in Denver. And I actually quite enjoy it, being able to hear the noise of traffic. Because that sound of speed reminds me that I can put myself in my own slow little bubble. I think it's a worthy endeavor to try to slow down and notice your speed in relationship to everything else. And see if we can operate at a slower speed. It's not a lazy speed. It's just mindful, deliberate, contemplative. Come onto your hands. And if possible, just roll over to your left hip so that we can bring our butt down to the floor and bring our body to face the long edge of the mat to the right. And reposition yourself to a seated position. And we're only going to be seated for a moment before we lie back down. Extend the right leg out straight. Now, keep the right leg straight and don't feel like you have to grab the foot, which is typically what I would ask you to do. Bend the knee no matter how much you need to grab your foot. In this case, legs straight. And just place your hand on your leg wherever you can get to without straining, right? So, can you place your hand on your knee? Great. Slide it down. And wherever you feel like getting to would cause your breath to go, that's where you stop. Turn to your left, look over your left shoulder. Now, twisting away from the right leg gives us the opportunity to stretch through internal and external obliques. Those fibers cross each other like a basket. So, a lot of times we want to go to the left and then back to the right. So now we're just going to turn to face the right foot and slide your hands forward. There's no grabbing, there's no pulling, there's no forcing in this method. We just ask permission. You can let your head slowly hang down like you're bowing. Bowing the head as a show of respect to the body. You could even slide your hands under your right calf. But remember, guys, no pulling, no demanding, just melting. Lift your head, lift your heart, and switch legs. Left foot out, right foot comes in. Left hand on your left leg, start at the knee, slide it down. You don't have to grab your foot. Hand on your right knee, and just turn. Not as hard as we can, as hard as we feel like. And just notice if you can't get the same results, or just as good results, just by breathing, and in every breath, just asking for permission to turn a little bit more. But as I'm trying to turn my chest away from my left foot, I don't think I've put more than 25% of my effort into making my body do anything. Now turn to face your left foot. Place your hands on either side of your left leg and just slide them forward. And I immediately notice that tight left hip on my body. That nagging tight left hip. Soften, relax, breathe, enjoy. Drink in your breath. Drink in this love and self-care. Drink in this patience and compassion. Release. Now, if you have a pillow, bedroom pillow, couch pillow, bolster, a medium-sized dog might work. You're going to place that from a seated position. Let's go ahead and switch back to here. I'm just pulling it to my sacrum, but I'm still sitting on the floor. And what I'm going to do is lie back over the bolster until my head comes to the floor. My arms reach out. Your legs can be bent, heels to groin. You might prefer your legs straight, but you're lying your lumbar on a pillow and letting your butt spill over one edge to the floor. letting your shoulder blades spill over the other edge to the floor. Breathe and ask for permission. Back away from anything too intense. Step your feet back. Reach forward, grab your hamstrings. Pull yourself back up. And we're going to make one little adjustment. We're going to take this bolster, let's go back to this camera, or pillow, and I'm going to turn it so that I can align my spine on it. And again, I've pushed it all the way to my sacrum, but my butt isn't on it. My butt's on the floor. Let's lie back again. Now your head will rest on that same plane, and you can always take another pillow and place it behind your head to even give your head a little bit more elevation. Now your shoulder blades wrap around that pillow, elbows rest, forearms rest. Again, legs can be bent or straight. This is a great time to put your heart back in that place of gratitude. It was my yoga practice that taught me gratitude, and just like any other form of mastery, any other thing we want to master, we have to do it repeatedly to get good at it. But I practice every day. And maybe the practice of yoga itself is the soil, and the gratitude is the sprout or the plant that comes out of it. Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. But for gratitude to grow, it needs good soil. So by lying back on a pillow in which our shoulder blades aren't necessarily supported and gravity pulls them down, hopefully we see and feel this nice line spread right under the collarbones from armpit to armpit. Just a little bit more space across the chest. And that support underneath the back of your heart to give it a place to rest, to give ourselves the opportunity to rest and expand and breathe and be present. I want to thank you for joining me for a little bit of self-care and a little bit of a slowdown. Don't worry, I'll be back to torment you tomorrow. Or for you to join me in me tormenting myself, which is just my funny way of saying challenge. Challenges are a good thing. As is this. So I'm going to leave you here. Please rest as long as you can, and notice that if any time you'd be more comfortable without something underneath you, if you'd like your legs straight, if you want to end in Shavasana, if you want to sit up and meditate, all of those are wonderful options. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Namaste.